tomatoes.
Yeah.
What else is what is ready?
I think that we have zucchine and cetrioli. So cucumbers and zucchini.
I'll follow you, amore.
Okay, let's go. Do, 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 do. Wow! Come and see, come and see. Look, what do we have here?
Oh, wow.
2 enormous cucumbers. Shall we pick them?
I don't know.
I think, otherwise the plant won't do it.
Okay.
There we go. 1 cucumber, 2 cucumbers. Okay, then come, look how many zucchini.
I can't come, it's a fixed lens.
Okay.
I'm as close as I can be.
Okay, so these ones are the first ones. They already lost the flower, so these need to be picked. Also if they're small. You see here there are at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zucchini on the way, so perfect. Let's go to next, Mr. Zucchina. Poi le puoi far crescere, però diventano acquose. Ah, c'ho le bestie in faccia. All that sheep manure is working. The zucchini are going crazy. Look here.
What do you want for lunch? Salad?
I would have salad.
Yes.
We have some tomatoes. A Greek salad.
The Greek salad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can have a nice pasta with the zucchini this evening.
Perfect.
No?
Yeah.
Micro zucchina.
Carina.
Va bene, allora andiamo a mangiare.
Sì. Salve. The days now are long and languid. It just feels like we're in the middle of summer. And yet, I mean, 2 weeks ago, in the middle of May, in Florence, it was 37 degrees, which is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, in May, I don't know what it's like in your country, but this is unprecedented in this part of Tuscany. I suppose that's the reason that for a year and a half, or maybe even 2 years, to be honest, Guido and I have been planning the ambitious project of building a swimming pool here on the farm, on the property, just to get relief. Because right now, I mean, the air is thick. You can barely eat outside. It's so hot. And so it took a year for the permit. And now we're finally at the stage of digging the hole. And yeah, today I'm just going to talk to you about that, and I would love your opinion on some of the design elements, because I'm not just saying that, I really would, because we're undecided, and we'd appreciate it, particularly maybe some of you have a pool, or you've swum one time in a pool in somewhere in Italy and you thought that's really beautiful. A little update on the pregnancy. If this doesn't interest you, that's fine. I completely understand. You can just fast forward through it. But I know so many of you have written to me private emails and comments and everything, asking how I am, if I'm okay. Thank you so much for your concern. My parents read your comments and they just say, gosh, people are so kind and considerate. I am now past the halfway point, which feels quite exciting because, as you know, you're always just, I mean, I'm just sort of thinking, is it okay? What's happening? I think because it's my first pregnancy, I'm not super huge yet, but I'm kind of looking forward to that, because I think if you've been a first-time mother, you understand you really want that confirmation that something is growing and progressing. However, I feel amazing because, as I mentioned before, I had a lot of nausea in the first trimester, and the second trimester I've just been full of energy. thank you for those who had concern about me lifting things and doing too much cardio, not taking it easy. Don't worry. I honestly, compared to what I was doing before, I don't lift anything that I can feel it, using my abs or my abdomen or anything like that. For example, when we do the grocery shopping, we have to carry all the bags up the stairs, and Guido does all of that. Even if it's just a little bag of a few cans, I don't even lift that. But if it's when it comes to cardio, my doctor has actually recommended. She said it's a real problem these days that people think you should be eating for two. People don't think you should do any exercise, and in fact she says the opposite is true, that there's a huge problem with gestational diabetes. There's a real problem with, because I said, well, what does it matter if the baby grows bigger? And she said, well, it's a real problem not only for the labor but also for the baby. It just starts them off with a bad foundation in their health, and so that may not be your opinion, but that's fine. Look, I think every pregnancy is such a personal thing, and how you look after your body is so personal. But for the moment, I'm just sort of listening to the advice of my mother, who has a very similar body, and my doctors, and they have said, look, my doctor even said you can keep running, because that's the exercise I used to do predominantly. But I haven't. Since I found out in the first week I was pregnant, and I stopped running immediately because I just don't want to risk falling. But in terms of cardio, it's really great. I found it's the thing that makes me, when I feel really nauseous, when I feel lethargic, when I just feel anything, anxiety. And I think the main thing, everyone will agree, for pregnancy is to not have the mother be anxious, because that really does transmit through to the fetus. So for me, being out in fresh air, keeping busy, being energetic, I suppose, is really important for my health. And I've also maintained quite a disciplined diet, because I feel like pregnancy is the time where it's the most important for me to be in optimum health. So I know a lot of people have said to me, just, lasciati andare, let yourself go and you can just eat whatever you want. But I don't really think that. I think everything that goes inside me should be nourishing the baby and should be full of nutrients. So I've cut out all sugar, all kinds of sweeteners, gluten, for other reasons which I can go into another video, and coffee. I've been off for about 10 months or so. I've been off coffee just because it has such a strong effect on my body. So again, it's just me. I'm very sensitive to sugar and coffee and things like this. So if you're not, that's fine. But for me, I'm feeling really good and really nourished. And actually, Guido's been eating what I've been eating, and he feels great as well. So if you're interested, I could do a little video on how to be in, if you want to get in optimum health for summer, not for pregnancy, but just for summer, and not to lose weight, but just to really feel full of energy and feel like your body is really clean, then let me know, and perhaps I could do a video focused on all the food that we've been eating. Yes. I think that's all. Thank you again just for being so considerate, because it seems like you've all had kids. All the comments, it's like so many people have had children, and you have so much more knowledge than I do when it comes to raising children or what's to come for me in this pregnancy. But yeah, I'm just trying to manage sharing what I'm going through, and also just keeping some of the more personal health advice to my mother and my doctors, and a couple of best friends who have had 3 or 4 children. So yes.
Buongiorno, amore. So we have the stairs here looking out on the view, and then the piscina goes all along here.
Originally we were going to have it close to the pergola, but then we decided it would be just a little bit of an eyesore in the cooler months when we're still eating outside and it's just there with a cover on it, no? And so we decided to move it back here beside this cottage, where we could still, for children, I think it's quite important that we could still be eating at the table and see the children, so we can, for safety and everything, but it's a little bit more removed from the main house. No?
Yeah, and then this is because the garden has the slope, and this
Yeah.
was the flattest part,
Sure.
so also
Yeah.
the best part to put it.
And
Yeah,
And also that we wanted it to be quite long because my family are huge swimmers. Obviously, I grew up by the beach on boats. My family, we swim. I even remember I made you have a swim at the beach in February, and Guido was like, you're a crazy Australian girl. But we're real water babies in my family. And I think if my parents were hoping, if they're here a lot to help us with the baby, this would be really a wonderful element to have. And my father and my mother do laps and really get a lot of exercise out of it. And it's also good, if I'm pregnant, swimming is so great. I will enjoy greatly the relief of just being able to get exercise from swimming as opposed to running, which is what I'm normally used to. And a lot of people might say, oh, why didn't you do it like an infinity pool on the side there? I think
first of all, you have to build all the thing that is in cemento armato, and it's new building, and you have lots of problems in getting the permits dalla sovrintendenza per il vincolo paesaggistico. And then there's also the matter of how much it costs, because obviously it costs much more. So that's...
Yes. So it took how long to get the permits, Guido?
I would say a year. Roughly.
A year. So, 12 months, and it was super complicated, as you can imagine.
And expensive.
Oh yeah, and expensive. You have to pay to get the permits done, and they're very prescriptive, as you can imagine.
We need a surveyor, an architect, an engineer. Then there are taxes that you have to pay to the municipality, al comune.
And then in terms of the cost, so we were planning for this well before Guido put in the application for the permit. How long ago?
Probably it's a year and a half.
A year and a half ago, and that was before our wedding even. And we decided, instead of a wedding registry, we said, look, to our friends and family, if you want to give us a gift, you can just put a little bit towards the pool, because that's something that they can actually, our friends who come and visit us can actually enjoy if it gets finally done. And but the wedding registry contributions to the pool just was enough to cover the permit. No, not even.
Sort of. Yeah.
And so
it was a small wedding, so no man. We did like 2,000 guests to pay the pool.
Last year, I decided to take on, in order to pay for the pool, I took on another job from a client, which you won't see on this channel, but and it was. Do you remember? It was like so stressful trying to do that with planning a wedding, and then afterwards as well, and doing the weekly episodes on here. But it was very fortunate, because of that job that I worked on for many months. I could pay for the pool. And now Guido has been amazing in organizing all the logistics of it, because you need one company to make the hole, another company to make the cemento armato, which is the reinforced concrete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then another company to actually build the whole structure of the pool.
Yeah,
no?
Exactly. That's the one that will supply also the vertical structures and the pump, filter, and everything.
Yeah. Do you remember there was that crazy guy who came to us, and he does prefabricated pools?
Yeah.
And he said I could deliver the pool already done with a helicopter and then just drop it down. And
and fiberglass or something like that. So probably it works, but let's say probably won't last much.
So anyway, we decided, but we saw a lot of people, and we researched all over Italy, because obviously there's the summer months, the warm months where you can be outside are so long in most parts of Italy. So there are quite a few people who do pools.
Yeah.
And in the end, you went with these people, Piscine Castiglione.
Yeah, it's a company from north of Italy, but they build pools, private ones in Italy, all around Italy, and like Olympic ones, super the big ones for the Olympics and stuff like that all around the world. So
Oh, wow.
they seemed very professional.
150?
Questo è 140
140.
di acqua, quindi il pannello è 150. Dovremmo mettere un su.
A lot of viewers of this channel write to me and say, we're looking at buying a place in Italy, or we're looking at moving to Italy, or we have a holiday house in Italy, but we want to add a pool. And obviously, if you're a foreigner, it's quite overwhelming to think, oh my gosh, am I going to invest in a pool and be ripped off somehow or taken advantage of? No. So we thought we'd document this process.
If you can buy a house that already has a pool, that's better.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's also the way of doing one. After like seeing all these options, we understood, at least this is what is my convincement, that the technique that the company that we chose adopts is the most efficient and convenient and has the perfect results. So
we wanted to the most reasonably priced option, not with all the bells and whistles, but then also we wanted our taste. Obviously, if many of you have seen other episodes, is quite traditional, and we want a pool that feels rustic, not like it's just been super sleek and modern and just been dropped in here now. We want it to feel like it's harmonious with the rest of the property, and so we want to do the border in travertine, which is what the church is made out of, and what our table under the pergola is made out of, and it's lots of travertine around the property, and then for it to feel like maybe it was, always here, no?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. One of my favorite films by Bernardo Bertolucci is Stilling Beauty, which is set in Tuscany, and there is this wonderful scene with the swimming pool. I love this style where it tones in with the olive groves and the stone of the house and feels very natural. I think if you were in somewhere like, I don't know, Ibiza or something, those very sleek infinity pools look amazing. But I think this is such una casa colonica, it's an Italian farmhouse, and so I think it's more tasteful to just do something that feels quite rustic, you know?
Yeah, that was the plan, and we also looked for the best result without spending the less possible, obviously, because there are so many projects going on, and these things cost so much that obviously you can do up to whatever, but that was our idea to have.
Yeah. One of the things we really truly want your opinion on, because it's starting very soon,
hopefully,
is what color to do what's it called?
Lining.
The lining, of the pool, because it changes dramatically, and I suppose what the colors we are inclined to discard are those sort of very bright blues that make it look like a resort. We want more natural colors that are sort of drawn from nature, that look like a rock pool or a lake or something so creams or turquoise.
There are so many choices, but I suppose the main difference is between a pale color or a dark one.
Yeah.
So when you think, oh, shall I do my pool black? You think, oh, that's crazy. But then when you see the result of how the water comes out as a color, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We will.
What's your preference? You don't know.
I don't know. I think something that looks cream,
like this
pale brown, like this.
See. But then the other option is to go for more of a slate grey, which gives it that lovely deep turquoise, which I've seen in a lot of pools. I'll put some references on the screen, and it's really beautiful. I suppose it's very much also influenced by what kind of sort of trees you have around the pool. But this isn't really an ideal rendering because the border will be flush with that brown stone. we won't have those plants. We'll have the brownstone going around the other side, on the right-hand side as well. We'd also like to put a stone fountain at the far end, and this is not the color of the lining. Well, it doesn't have to be. There's a company called Touch that does these very fancy multicolored linings, which are said to look more natural. And we were thinking we liked this sandy option, but it costs almost twice as much, and we feared it could look a little bit fake. Quindi se lei dovesse scegliere per il nostro giardino...
Ci diamo del tuo, poi fissiamo da scritto. In Italia abbiamo il tuo e il lei.
Sì, va bene.
Che complica le cose.
No, va bene. E quindi sceglieresti questa sabbia?
Io andrei sul sabbio o sul bianco.
Ah. The cheaper option, which may in fact be a result more suited to our taste, is these colors here. So we're undecided between the sandy beige or the grey, keeping in mind that the grey gives more of a deep blue, green, turquoise result. The guy from Piscine Castiglione said to us just a few days ago, he said, look, have you thought about, instead of doing just a long strip of stairs, which we thought could be nice just to sit on if you have a baby or a toddler or something. He said perhaps you might want to just do a very shallow platform so that you can have children or
with 30 centimeters of water in that sort of beach side, water side, effetto bagnasciuga, come si dice?
So the two things to decide are the color and what to do with the
we
steps.
Can't change the position. We can't change the exterior part because it's already, we have the permit
approved
for that, but we can decide what type of lining we put inside and how we do the steps.
Yeah.
So that's...
And I think another thing that is about doing it in Italy, if you're considering doing this on a property in Italy, every area of Italy, I mean really like a very small, like you're literally just your neighborhood, has different laws on what color you can do, what shapes you can do.
Every municipality.
Yeah.
Tutti i comuni hanno un diverso regolamento. So here you can do it in a certain way. The comune nearby, also if it's at 2 kilometers, they have a completely different implementation, and so it's crazy.
It's so funny. I mean, literally, there's a shade of blue which on this hill you can't have, but maybe on that hill in 2 kilometers that way you can have. But I think, I mean, the general concept in terms of preserving the visual beauty of Tuscany, of Italy, I completely understand, because that's where it comes from, no?
Yeah, but I don't know if it has any sense. What are they worried that aliens, when they see Tuscany, they see many pools and say,
exactly.
"Oh, that's so ugly." No, it's not.
Yeah, you don't see this from the roadside.
No,
for example.
but any pool you can, they're always low, so it's not something that, it's much worse if you build a house of 2 floors of a stupid color. I can understand that, but what's the problem with a pool? So
a lot of the time from well-meaning viewers who are saying, why don't you do this, or with the house, or people are saying, why don't you move the olive press in the kitchen? You've got to understand that here you need a permit for everything. If you plan to sneeze, you need to apply for a permit, and this is just the way Italy is, and this is why for the large part they've preserved such beauty, but sometimes it can be quite frustrating. So if you're wondering, why don't you do this, it's usually because we can't get a permit for it. So.
We might haven't thought about it, but obviously. But it's so complicated. Things that block you, want to do that, no, for this reason, because the sovrintendenza doesn't want to do that. Then there's the municipality regulation, you can't that. Then there's the regional rules that say that you can't do this other, and so on and so on and so on. And so in the end, you try and do it as simple as possible in order that and obviously fitting your taste. But for example, we couldn't have done a form that was strange, so you couldn't have done like the ones you see in America or whatever, like Comune 8 or whatever. That was,
like an unusual shape. If it was
only simple shapes, only certain colors, only certain materials, only within certain dimensions, within certain depths.
And in a certain part of your property, yeah.
Come si dice, profondità.
Yeah, the depth, yeah.
Yeah, it couldn't be deeper than a certain amount,
Yeah.
and so on, and so on, and so on. And so this is the same.
See, but I think it will be really beautiful, and we've been waiting a year and a half for this. So I think we might be at the stage now where we're going to show you what happens. Let's see. I mean, I think
It will be 2 long months.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if there will be enough.
Yeah.
I hope so. I really hope so.
And so yeah, this is the plan for the pool, and we look forward to hearing your thoughts, because we really have to decide that lining color ASAP. They keep emailing us and saying what's happening.
Yes.
And then maybe next week the plumber and builder are arriving to do the ensuite bathroom. Maybe. we had a conversation. This is really funny. I can tell this story, no?
Yeah.
We had this conversation. So with the builder and the plumber, we met with them
More the builder.
The builder, sorry, the builder. We met with the builder, and late last year, and Guido's like, "Do you think you could do it by Christmas?" Yeah, I'll do it by Christmas. By Christmas. This is in October. Then we met with him in January, February this year. I'll do it by Easter. Easter, absolutely. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, Easter! That's so long." Like, this is back in January. We met with him a little couple of weeks ago, and Guido said, "Okay, you just tell us. You tell us when." No, I'll do it by the first week of June.
No,
so.
he said, "Oh, but you can't just want things immediately."
Yeah,
and I said, "Look, we spoke about it a year ago.
Yeah.
But this is the what's happened." In this area, there are not many good builders, so I want to go on with him. And
I think if you're a builder in Tuscany, you could make so much money, because they're just flat out. They have so much work.
In this area, you need falegnami.
See, a carpenter?
Carpenter. There are no carpenters. Plumbers and builders, and
it's crazy, isn't it?
You just see the difference between the ones that build the roof on the other house.
Yeah.
They were from another part of Tuscany, where I don't know, things work better, and they just did what they said.
Yeah.
And the roof was done. It was a big job.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's say we have all the pieces. We should be able to do it.
Yeah. But now we have to go and water the vegetable garden.
Let's go.
So thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you want to, because it's very close to, what am I at? You're always watching. How many subscribers am I?
257?
Something like that, yes. Next week on Renovating a Ruin.
Started thinking about tiles everywhere, but I like the...
And then we saw the quote of how much it would cost.
Cavo della lampada bene, vuoi da cambiare?
Allora, il cavo della lampada...
A big walk-in shower here,
Yeah.
with a wall in the middle, and a bathtub there, and that's it.
Ti piace la base?
Questa base
È in vendita? No.
La base è vendita, sì.
Belli. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sharing part of your weekend with us. And I shall see you next time. Alla prossima.